In this video, we're going to show you how to use the electronic station equipment at the MDC Center. Safety concerns. Look for signs of physical damage, cracks, and leaks. Keep fluids and chemicals away from electrical devices. When not used, turn off electrical devices. When assembling and disassembling, have power source turned off. Remove any conducted jewelry. The multimeter has three parts, that is the display, selection knob, and ports. The display gives a reading. The selection knob is used to change the multimeter to read either current, voltage, and resistance. The ports are what you use to attach your probes to. You need to attach two probes to two ports. The COM stands for common and is usually connected to ground. The voltage resistance port is used to measure voltage in volts and resistance in ohms. The milliamp port is used to measure current in milliamps. The 10 amps port is usually a special port used to measure currents greater than 200 milliamps. When measuring voltage, you want to measure in parallel. When measuring current, you want to measure in series. You will want to connect your ports to the common port and to the voltage port. Then using the selection knob, you can change to the right setting of voltage DC. Then you can use your probes to measure the voltage across the resistor. To measure resistance, you use the same ports as measuring voltage. Use the selection knob to change it to resistance. Using the probes, you can measure the resistance across the resistor. To measure current, you will need to connect the probe to the common and the milliamp ports. Have the selection knob to the correct current. When measuring current, you will connect the probes in series to the desired component being measured. This multimeter has three parts, that is the display, function keys, and terminals. Display gives a reading. The function keys are used to change the multimeter to read either current, voltage, and resistance. Select the DC voltage key. Using your probes, connect it to the high and low voltage ports. Using your probes, you can measure the voltage across the resistor. To measure current, press the Shift key and then the DC current key. Change your probes to the high and low for the current ports. Measure the current in series. The DC power supply consists of the display, knobs, and ports. The display shows the amount of current and voltage that is being supplied. The knobs are used to adjust the desired current and voltage. Connect the cables to the positive and negative terminals. Turn on the DC power supply. Adjust the knob to the desired voltage and current. Connect the positive and negative terminals to the load. You may attach the cables to the ports to the right for a fixed supply of 5 volts and 3 amps. The function generator consists of the display, function keys, knob, and ports. The display shows the frequency and waveform. The function keys are used to change waveform, frequency, and amplitude. A function generator is used to generate waveforms over a range of frequencies. Connect the BNC cable to the function generator. Turn on the function generator. You could change the waveforms. This is a sine wave, square wave, triangle wave, sawtooth wave, noise, and arbitrary value. You could change the frequency by clicking on the frequency key and using the arrows or knob to change the frequency. Change the amplitude by clicking on the amplitude key and using the knob and arrow keys to adjust to desired amplitude. The oscilloscope consists of the display, vertical, horizontal, trigger, and inputs. The display shows the electrical signal, the vertical section controls the voltage scale, the horizontal section controls the time scale. The trigger section is used to stabilize and focus the oscilloscope. The oscilloscope is used to graph an electrical signal over time. You can adjust the coupling. DC coupling allows both DC and AC signals to pass through. AC coupling allows only AC signals to pass through. For majority of circuits, you can set the probe attenuation to 10x. You can only use 1x for only measuring low voltage signals. I have a sine wave connected to channel 1. To measure, click on the measure key. You can change the measurements you desire. Change the source to channel 1. And depending on what you want to measure, you can change the measurement. You can adjust the vertical position by adjusting the vertical knob. You can adjust the volts per division by turning the volts per division knob. You can adjust the horizontal position and the seconds per division as well. You can use a trigger level to stabilize the waveform. You can save the waveform to a USB drive. Click on the Save key, then click on the Save.